Hi, my name is Spencer Grant, and I am, first and foremost, a fan of the Warrior Cats series. I read a whole bunch of these books when I was growing up. They inspired a lot of my writing and interest at the time, and they shaped the social groups and interactions of my early days, and they have left a profound and permanent paw-shaped mark in my life. This is my podcast, Fourtrees. It will partially be a retrospective of Warriors as I go through and reread all of the books for the first time in years, and partially a sort of community update kind of thing. After the first 2 weeks of just going through the first arc, I plan on inviting some friends and members of the Warriors Cats community to come on the show and talk about the books and their history with the books and the projects that those books have inspired and so on. It'll be fun. Now, I hear you saying, I don't hear you saying because this is a podcast and that's kind of like their whole thing, but I understand that the first question one would have upon being informed of my podcasting decision is, Spencer, this is a podcast about the Warriors Cats books. Nobody is going to listen to this. And to that I say, first of all, that hurts my feelings. And second of all, I don't care. This is for me, okay? Nobody has to listen to it for it to be successful. I just want to talk about the Warriors Cats, and that's what I'm gonna freaking do. So, each episode will begin with a short passage from the book, followed by a discussion about its plot, another discussion about its themes, things that we, and by we, I mean me, liked or disliked about it, and then a discussion about the ramifications of that book on the greater Warriors canon. There will almost certainly be tangents in between of these because the quarantine has completely ruined my attention span. So if you're worried that this is just going to be a half-hour-long literary analysis of the Warriors Cat series, I hope that assuages your concerns some. I will also not be reading off of a script like I am for this initial episode. I just want to do this one so that, you don't... Okay, now I'm going off script and I'm starting to go on a tangent. So I will return to the script now in order to... When we get guests on the show, or should I say, if we get guests on the show, we'll also divert some of the conversation to talking about them, what they do, and their history with the franchise. However, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. I've also got, and prepare yourselves, I've got a few segments in mind that I will most likely try out during the first arc to keep it from getting stale. Maybe I'll talk about my own cats. No, I'm sorry, I can't do that without making it sound boring as all heck. I'll figure something out. Don't worry. Now, since the first 6 episodes are most likely going to be a solo endeavor, I will take a little while to talk about me and my experience with these books. So, as before mentioned, my name is Spencer. Hello, by the way. And I read these books growing up. I was really active in the fan community. I actually spent a lot of time in the Warrior Cats forums as a kid, and I would roleplay as a Doctor Who cat would go about with his companion to different clans and have adventures and stuff. A lot of my earliest writing projects were basically just these self-indulgent Doctor Who is a Warrior Cat stories, which, believe you me, are just as bizarre as they sound. But hear me out, okay? He can regenerate into a different body every time he dies. Why is he a human every time? And why particularly is he a human from freaking Britain, right? Sorry, I am getting off track. When you factor in the other crossovers to the other books I was reading at the time, this... Oh god, I'm messing it up. I'm sorry. Okay, a lot of my earliest writing projects were basically just self-indulgent Doctor Who is a Warrior Cat stories, which, believe you me, are just as bizarre as they sound. Especially when you factor in the crossovers to the other books I was reading at the time, stuff like Pride and Prejudice and the sequels to Ender's Game, where he was like, oh, sorry, that's my phone. Aw, beans, I've done it again, you guys. I really... the sequels to, Ender's Game, where it was... Ender, but he's a grown-up and he's on these planets and they're pig aliens and they're trying to be good to them. So there was a crossover to that. My Doctor Who cat did in fact visit those planets and deal with the pig trees that were there. It was cool. However, I eventually reached a point in my life where I entered an institution known as high school, and slowly but surely I stopped reading them. Be advised, it was not an immediate dismissal of my earlier ways. I would still come crawling back every once in a while, but it wasn't ever really like the same. The prophecies weren't really hooking me anymore, and my imagination didn't allow me to capture the imagery as it once used to, and I discovered Homestuck. But that's a story for another day, okay? Let's just say my interest in the books petered out, and my memories of them faded, until I moved to England to work in film and media. And I was walking around the animation department of my university when I noticed some framed illustrations of cats hanging on the wall, and I thought to myself, that looks like Cat Tiger Star, or as I like to know him, Cat Mussolini. And they happened to really easily match the style of this artist that I followed on Twitter called Finchwing Illustrations. And so I sent her a DM to ask. That means direct message, by the way. I sent her a DM to ask, and sure enough, they were hers. And I found through her Twitter and the other people that were following and interacting with her account, there was this entire online community about the Warrior Cats books, and it was still active, and it was still full of crazy skilled like artists and animators and stuff. And I thought to myself, wowee, I sure gotta reread these and get involved in this community. I gots to meet some of these people and enjoy all of this new content being developed about this series that I really loved as a kid. And then I never did, because as it does with everything, work and life got in the way. I followed a few more Warriors Cats artists on Twitter, and I did occasionally peek at the subreddits to see what was up. And I met some people around who were still like into the books, and that was about it, maybe. I brought the books up a few times with some friends of mine, and I tried to start like a book club back in December, but that did not work out. But now, my dear children, my dear kits, now StarClan has conspired to bring me back into the fold. That's right. The COVID-19 pandemic is all StarClan's doing, is what they want for me to get back into the books. With a pandemic keeping us all indoors for the next few months, if not longer, what better time than now to indulge in something that has brought me so much comfort and joy as a child? I sound really robotic because I'm reading off the script again. I shouldn't be doing that. But, okay. Look, I'm stuck indoors. I got ill like a little while ago, so now I'm stuck indoors for like a long time. And I can't really go outside, and even if I could, my job is indoors, so like, what's the point? I might as well live outside vicariously through these Warriors Cats books. I might as well indulge in my literary hedonism. I might as well become a grown-up warrior. I am ready to re-embrace his beginnings. I am Spencer Tail, or Spencer Claw, or something. I'll figure it out later. My point is, over the next 6 to 7 weeks, I'll be going through the original series, The Prophecy Begins, and talk in a non-scripted manner, like the last few... I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this. And talk about how I feel about these books, and what I liked or disliked or remembered about them. I might compare them to other books, either inside of the series or outside of it, and I will most definitely get distracted and talk about some other meaningless drivel like an encounter I had at the grocery store or something like that. So yeah, that's what I've got. I hope you weren't terribly bored by this primer episode. I promise none of the other episodes will be like this. I'll never read off of a script again. I just want to give a quick basis on who I am and where I'm coming from and what the goals of this podcast are, so that nobody has to like listen to the entire thing to understand all of the podcast lore. I sincerely hope you can enjoy what I have to offer. I'm Spencer Grant, again, that's my name, please remember it, so that I can have some semblance of immortality, and I will play myself out. Ciao now! How do I stop the recording of